Alright guys, we're back on the Frogman YouTube channel. I'm back with something brand new this time, and I'm excited to get started on it. This is GACHIAKUTA Volume 1. This is a manga by Kei Urana, and the graffiti design on the inside of the cover is by Hideyoshi Ando. What does that mean? That means the inside of the cover is right here. I really like the art style of this manga, and I really like the meaning and premise behind it, and I'm actually super excited to bring it to the Frogman YouTube channel before the anime starts airing in 2025. There's actually one scene in this volume that I am super excited to talk about because I think it'll do very well in the anime to display the message and feel of this manga, this story. Chapter 1 opens up by saying this, and I wanted to point this out. When an object is well loved, it is eventually imbued with a soul. So then what about garbage, trash that's been thrown away? What is that imbued with? You turn the page and you get this awesome color spread of the main character. Awesome art style of this manga is probably one of my favorites of this kind of new generation, and I am excited to see where it goes and how it gets better. Now, this being a volume 1, that means chapter 1 is usually going to be very long. And actually a lot of the chapters in this volume are long. I don't know if this was a manga that came out monthly or not. I'm not sure. But I have enjoyed reading it. So chapter 1 opens up with this hooded figure digging through these giant masses of garbage in this highly futuristic and very pristine looking society. Everybody except this main character here is wearing these super nice clothes. I would assume they're all white. They're all dressed in white. And the main character here has these dirty old shoes on and this hoodie. And he's digging through these trash heaps. And so the guard that finds him here presses the button. They're like, "We're not going to let you get away." And they try to fight the character here that's hooded. But the hooded character, the main character here, just outclasses him. He's kind of too strong for him. More so, he's just able to get away. He knows his way around this area. So he's been here before. Here the character takes off his hood on the hoodie, and he tells the guards that he's not raiding anything, you turd brains. He calls them turd brains. And you actually see that he was digging through the trash and he was getting this cute little rabbit plushie. That may not be the only thing that he got, but there's this opening scene really grabbed me. I really wanted to keep reading and see what this character was doing. What is the point of this? And here on this spread you start to see the actual society that they live in. And you see this new character, this older character, this older gentleman. And he's dressed in a lot of rags, scarves, and things, and a lot of them are very dirty. And all these pristine people that are around him are commenting on what he looks like and how he's a tribesman from the other side of town. There's this giant wall going through the town that these characters live in. And you can clearly see one side of the town is very poor and made up of nothing but sheet metal houses, and the other side fully bricked up, houses with boners, houses with the trees around them, and there's a giant wall in between them. So these all the people that live in this area are being quite literally divided from each other. Chapter 1 also shows off the introduction of Chiwa. This is the love interest for Rudo up here, or at least in this society. But as we'll see at the end of the chapter, I don't think that Chiwa really feels quite as perplexed or interested in Rudo. Here's a awesome panel from Rudo that this is his reaction to his dad being called a killer, and how people think that Rudo will be just the same and just as ruthless and evil as his father. That's a big theme in story One Piece. The actions of the father do not dictate the persona of the son. And here we go, Chiwa tells Rudo that he's not like his father, and that he's not a bad person, and he wouldn't kill people. We'll see about that. I got a feeling Rudo would kill somebody. Here in this spread we get to see the relationship between both Rudo and this older character. This is Regto, and we learn that the crime and punishment for Rudo's father was casted into the pit. The pit is this giant mass of garbage that is supposedly underneath where they're living now. It's called the pit. You would assume a pit goes down. This is Frogman's standout moment for chapter 1. We're going to keep pushing. We learn about how items in this world can mean something to people, and how the more that they're taken care of, they are able to do things like develop souls, which is just crazy. That's crazy, but it's really cool. And just want to point out here, one of the main items that they talk about are these gloves. that Regto gave to Rudo, the main character here. He really likes those gloves. Limit breaker freaking moment right here, guys. This scene will be awesome in the anime. This is what I'm talking about. This is Rudo looking over the edge of this, I guess, island, you could say. I know, but I don't want to spoil it just yet, to the pit. Obviously, this pit's just giant. There's nothing down there, at least from what Rudo can tell. I think this scene will be awesome in the anime. All trash will eventually get thrown into the pit, including people who commit crimes. They all wind up down there in the pit. Rudo's father got swallowed up by that darkness too, or so he is told. I'm excited to see Rudo's father. I have not, at least in this volume 1, that I know of. Got a lot of cute moments for Miss Chiwa and Rudo in this chapter. They are besties. They do like each other. But the unfortunate circumstance of this chapter, this masked figure here, and he's cloaked up and he's masked, he runs up on Rudo. And he picks this book up off the ground and he dashes with it. Rudo tries to catch him, but he's like, whatever, I've got to go back home and talk to Regto. I've got to tell Regto that I just actually rizzed up Chiwa, used my Riz powers on Chiwa. Now she's buddy with me. But he opens the door, and instead of Regto being there to say hello, Regto is laid out on the ground. He has been stabbed, and he is currently bleeding out. Rudo goes into shock. He is shocked. He doesn't know what has happened. Regto tells Rudo, he says, run. Go. Change this sick, oh crap world. Saka crap world. Holy cow. Anyway, it's at this exact moment that Rudo is tased and taken down to the ground. He is under arrest for being caught in the act of murder. And of course, since Rudo was down there talking to Regto, his blood is all over him. Rudo has effectively been framed for the murder of Regto. And here's something I don't understand. I'm sitting here reading this back to myself. These people that are on the left side of the town, the very clean and proper and looks like prosperous, they're called Spherites. Why would they care about the murder of somebody that lives over with the Commonwealth, the filthy tribesfolk? Why would they care about the murder of him? I don't know if that's going to be important later or not. The tribesfolk, the Spherites condemn Rudo to death, and he is hung over the pit. And while he is about to fall, he sees that mysterious masked figure out in the crowd again. And then as they drop Rudo into the pit, he says, I'm going to send you to hell. Every one of you. All of humanity. All of you. I'm going to kill. And then that's where it snaps. And you actually see that he's falling. He turns around, you notice his eye. And holy shit, guys. This is the most memorable panel in the volume. We get one of these per volume. This is Rudo falling into the pit after being framed by the civilians for Regto's murder. I think this scene will be also very sick in the anime. I think it may be actually the key artwork for the anime. This character Regto falling, sorry, not Regto, this is Rudo falling down through the clouds into the pit down below. And there's some cool close-up shots of his eyes. Actually, you get to see all the trash and the nastiness and the horrible smells that are down here in the pit. There's nothing but trash as far as he can see. Trash, people, every kind of filth eventually winds up here. It really is the pit of hell. And you see this crazy looking trash monster. These things live down here, bro. And we're going to learn more about that in chapter 2 we're pushing into now. Chapter 2 starts off with Rudo realizing the severity of the situation he is in. He is surrounded currently by these giant trash monsters, and he is seeing skulls and other trash. He realizes this is life on hell. This is not a place that he wants to be right now, and he's having trouble breathing. It's so nasty down here. Luckily, he does have an anime rage moment. I'll kick all their asses. And you get this awesome full-page spread of Rudo right here, very angry. He does this awesome move that I wanted to point out while this other character is watching him do this. Rudo takes his metal side paneling and does a sick like Zoro swordsman move with it. That was sick. And he cuts that trash beast somewhat in half. It explodes upon itself. And during this landslide of trash that he just caused, an umbrella pops out and all the trash comes down. But when he wakes up, he comes to. Rudo realizes, here's our blue moment, the standout moment for the chapter, that a new character has saved Rudo from the landslide of trash. This character looks sick. He's got an awesome mask, he's got a cool jacket, and he's got this awesome umbrella. So of course Rudo talks to this character, And the character kind of snaps after Rudo just after question. He's like, "We aren't underground, we're above ground. All the trash here is stuff that you Spherites dropped on us. And I have been trying to tell you to shut the hell up. Thanks to you, they've noticed us." And he points up, and there's just another giant trash beast comes up behind him. Here we get the Limit Breaker panel here in Chapter 2. This badass umbrella weapon. And this new character says, "I guess it's time for some cleaning." We'll learn more about what that means going forward in this volume, but I just thought this moment was sick. I had to do the Limit Breaker for it. This character is really cool, and I think the umbrella weapon really fits him. I think it's a cool design. This character is very strong as shit. He's slicing and dicing this trash monster up, and he does this awesome move where he goes up in the air. Breaker, Octa Shredder. And he drums down like a drill, goes straight down. And it splits everything up like a pizza pie, each slice. Rudo asks him, he says, "Who are you?" And at the end of the chapter he says, "My name is Engine. I am a humble cleaner." But then when the air stinks, he puts the mask right back on. Now we're going to push into Chapter 3. We're here on the Frogman YouTube channel, pushing into Chapter 3 of GACHIAKUTA. This is Volume 1. I really like the way that this chapter opened up. They talked about more so the giving life or giving a soul, giving more meaning to items that we cherish. And while he is dreaming of that, Rudo wakes up from his daze. He is being pulled with a chain around him by Engine. I'm going to keep pushing through the volume here. Engine and Rudo just talk about how this is a lesson for Rudo to learn. He's not going to give him answers. This is a opportunity for Rudo to see what life is like down here on the ground. Because obviously I think many of the Spherites don't realize what is happening down here. They're just condemning people and throwing trash down here without caution. So obviously we see that Rudo was thrown to this group of people, and they realize that he is a Spherite, and we learn that the people down here in the pit see the Spherites as like a mythical and mystical figure, so they try to capture him, and they want to torture him because they hate the Spherites for what they've done to the people down here. They dribble down garbage, and then that garbage rains down, it piles up, and it makes the air toxic. It even created monsters. People have been killed because of those monsters, or crushed by the deluge of trash. Countless people here have lost their homes because their lands became too polluted to live on. I wonder what those people might do when they see a Spherite like you alive. Oh man, this chapter was sick. And they start shoving this garbage and food, this nasty old moldy food, into Rudo's mouth. They're torturing him till Rudo snaps. He freaking snaps. And he bites this guy's freaking fingers off. And he freaking breaks out of the chains. And here we're going to come up on an awesome moment. This is a sick moment of Rudo breaking out of his chains. And also his monologue is powerful. He says, "Every damn one of you going on about Spherites in the ground, trash and tribesfolk. Who's on top and who's on bottom? Stop thinking you get to decide who gets thrown out. I sit here keeping my mouth shut, and you think that means you can walk all over me?" And he freaking jumps out of the back of this truck where they keep him chained up. I can't take it anymore. Awesome freaking full page spread of Rudo right there. And you also get Engine watching over him, and he's like, "I was right about that kid. He's got the right kind of energy." And we get to one of the coolest revelations of this chapter. If you take care of them, I'm sure one day they'll have a soul, and I'm sure they'll make you strong. Rudo is a giver, and one of his powers, he is able to give life like a giver. Not just to one object, to more than one object. This was sick. This was so sick. He does chains. He does a freaking tire right here. Rudo's able to just grab different stuff and use it like a giver would. And he hasn't even had any kind of training down here yet, so that was sick. End of the chapter, Engine asks Rudo to join the cleaners. The cleaners need talent like yours. And Rudo says he doesn't wanna. Pushing into Chapter 4. This is Chapter 4 of GACHIAKUTA Volume 1. This is the final chapter of the volume. So Engine is on the phone, and he is telling that... Well, no, I don't think this yet. Actually, it is. Engine's on the phone, and he's telling this partner of his that he's found someone special, and he's found somebody with strong potential. But this is a person that he doesn't really call often, so the person on the phone is very interested. We get to see Rudo, Engine, and the doctor explain to Rudo that he has royally screwed up. He is lucky to be alive at this point. and that without being strong enough to have made it even this far, he is not going to get information from the people in the pit about how to get back up into the land of the Spherites, especially because the people down here despise the Spherites. In this chapter, we learn about a few very important things. We learn about the anima system. Anima is what gives the trash pit monsters life down here. It's what is formed after enough of the energy and passion and love is put into an object. And it can also be put into other objects that are called vital instruments. Vital instruments are able to be imbued with anima. And I think this was a very big reveal, because now we know that vital instruments are going to be used pretty heavily going forward. And that was my blue standout moment for the chapter. Pushing forward, this little cat runs away with the sack of money that Engine gives Rudo to survive for the next few days. And on the way to catch the cat, Rudo grabs this kind of staff-looking thing, and he actually has a run-in with a new cleaner and a member of Engine's group. And he says, "Hey man, that's my stick. The stick. Not the cat, give me the stick." And we learn that this character is a cleaner. We see this awesome character design with this cool vital instrument used by this brand new cleaner. We only just met, and it seems like you already need some educating. I'll give you a taste of my lovely assist staff. Holy shit, dude. Here is the back of the cover too. Awesome graffiti artwork on these covers. GACHIAKUTA is very sick. Stay tuned for more on the Frogman YouTube channel. Go support the official release, whether it be Kodansha Comics, Viz Media Comics, anything in between. Go check them out. And like and subscribe.